to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
Why don't you make like a train and get out of here?
The blackest eyes.
Puny God.
Come on!
Make this asshole.
You're terminated, fucker.
Live or die, man.
Roads? Well, we're going, we don't need roads.
There can be only one.
Kill you all.
Goonies never say die.
We all need each other. As you can see, I'm not happy.
Are you not entertained?
This is friend.
Happy trails, Hans.
Welcome back to the Skewered Universe Podcast.
Welcome back, motherfuckers! And I'm your co-host, Leanne. Did I ruin it?
No, that's perfectly fine. You never have this energy, so I was just that was unexpected.
I felt the need to interrupt you for some reason.
Hey.
You're welcome.
We've been gone for a while, so getting behind a microphone. I mean, I do it once a week, but Skewered Universe we haven't done for a while.
Yeah.
Just,
It's because we hate our listeners. That's what it is.
She hates you. I love each and every one of you. She, behind the scenes, says she wishes you all would just stop listening and...
You die a horrible, painful death, and...
Oh, God, I wasn't even going to go that far.
Just kidding.
We're kidding. No, we wanted to do a quick episode here to let you guys know we're not completely gone.
No, of course not.
It's a temporary hiatus. There's some home renovation stuff. There was some other stuff that came up, so we've just been kind of putting this on the back burner for a little bit.
Yeah. Renovation stuff, medical stuff, doggy stuff, podcast stuff.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Jury duty stuff.
Yeah, you've been doing jury duty.
Yeah.
I've been working hard on Tales from the Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, real quick plug here. In case you haven't heard. Sorry, that was my drink. I moved my straw. So for those of you that haven't heard, myself and JB, we have a video game that we released for Tales from the Podcast called Tales from the Podcast, the fucking video game.
And my name's in it.
That's right. You are in the special thanks in the credits. So if you beat the game, you'll get to see that. But in order to beat the game, you need to buy it. But Jeff, how do we buy it? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. If you have PayPal, you can go to the email talesfromthepodcast13@gmail.com. Send us $10, we send you the game. And, if you want access to the cheat bot, because the game's too hard, maybe you're just stuck in a spot, you're like, I need a little help, or, like me, you suck at a lot of fucking video games, $5. $5 more, so a total of 15. Get you access to the cheat bot. Make the game easier. Have fun. But yeah, we're really hoping you guys will buy the game. It's a lot of fun. I did a lot of testing on it.
And you did a lot of audio stuff for it too, right?
I did source some sounds for the game. I'm not sure how many got in there. But I am officially a producer of the game.
Nice.
I did go on board with JB in this. I'm only a certain percentage financially tied into the game, but it's a cool thing, and I wanted to have my name in it, and I do.
Yeah, and you got to do a lot of the testing.
Yeah, a lot of the testing. It was a lot of testing. So if any of you out there are video game testers, I only did a fraction of what you do. I commend your work. It is not... Grandma's Boy was not truthful about how game testing is, I don't feel. They made it seem like a laugh a minute, and I was stressed the fuck out sometimes.
Yeah.
Gotta hydrate. Oh, boy. But yeah, $10, Tales from the Podcast, 13@gmail.com. Use that in PayPal. Send us a $10 donation. We will send you the game. And then leave us reviews. Email us at the same email. Leave us reviews. Go to talesfromthepodcast.com. Tell us what you think of the game. We're really proud of it. It's a lot of fun. if you like retro-style turn-based battle RPG video games, this is definitely up your alley. So, one thing JB mentioned is similar to a game called Final Fantasy Legends that he used to play.
The old school.
Yeah. So very much in that vein. It is not for kids. There is some there's
some language.
There's adult humor. Let's just say one of the weapons are crusted socks. We don't say it like that, but you get the idea once you get into the game. You play as myself, JB, and our now former co-host, Ron, who has stepped away from Tales, but we wish him all the best. He's doing some other things. But yeah, get the game. It's a lot of fun. I wouldn't tell you to buy a game that was shitty if I didn't believe in the game.
Yeah.
And I tested the hell out of it, and it was a lot of fun when I wasn't stressing out about things not being able to progress because I got stuck or got routed the wrong way. Behind the scenes stuff.
But it's because you assumed it was something you were doing wrong as opposed to something wrong in the game, which was the point of testing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was stressful, but at the end of the day, we got a game that we're proud of.
Yeah.
And if you head over to the YouTube channel for Tales from the Podcast or the Skewered Universe Podcast, you will see the official trailer for the game. And, I'm not to brag, but, one of the two hosts here did the voiceover for the trailer. And even though Leanne has the better voice, it wasn't her. So not to toot my own horn.
Well, clearly you have a good enough voice if you're in podcasting.
Who knows? Who knows? I can talk. Mm-hmm. That's it. You just have to be able to talk for long periods of time.
Yeah.
And I can do that.
I cannot.
Yeah. Sometimes to the detriment of my wife's sanity.
Yeah.
Can I talk? Yeah, check out the game. It's a lot of fun. Also, speaking of new things, I created a TikTok account for the podcast.
And the reason it's so funny is because he has been saying for the longest time he is not going to get a TikTok account because it's just going to be another rabbit hole for him, another thing for him to get pissed off about, and he doesn't need the stress. Well, what you guys haven't known is behind the scenes for the past year, we have a bonding time called TikTok time, and that's when I gather up all the TikToks I think he would like, and we watch it for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, I enjoy it that way because you're showing me stuff that. Yeah, there are some things that get under your skin. It's like, oh, I'm so angry. But then it's like followed up with like a cute cat or a cute dog or like someone's grandpa, doing
Grandpa Joe.
Yeah.
Grandpa Joe trying USA cuisines for the first time. It's hilarious.
Yeah, stuff like that. So we do have an official Skewered Universe podcast TikTok. I should actually probably tell people what it is.
Yeah.
There's only 2 posts there, but
the name of the actual account and then also your @ if it's different.
So you can find us Skewered Universe, Skewered_Universe is the @ and apparently I can't read. Hang on. Okay, the name is Skewered_U Horror Podcast.
Nice.
The @ is Skewered_Universe.
There you go.
On TikTok, that's where you can find us.
And you've already got a video up, I think.
Got
right?
a couple of videos. I have the official trailer for the game, and then there's a clip that we posted of some show audio from episode 47 of The Velocipaster.
Which is my favorite episode.
Yeah, with the opening clip from the movie. I don't want to give anything away, but VFX car.
Yeah.
It was too perfect to not do. So I'm trying to curate some stuff for TikTok, video-wise. There might be stuff coming in the next few days, the coming weeks. I'm going to try and create more content for you guys there. That does not take away from this podcast because I am working on things and putting things together for the remainder of the year once we get back into a production schedule. We will not miss Nick Cage November. If I lose my fucking legs, if I get castrated, if I am partially disemboweled, it will not stop me. Nick Cage November will proceed. If I lose half my brain in a tragic accident, knock on wood that I don't, I will still do Nick Cage November. I may be drooling and whatever, but I will get through it. And that is in no way meant to be offensive to anyone. I'm just saying, it's happening.
Yes.
It's happening. Oh, yeah. So, Leanne, I've hogged up a lot of time. Has there been anything you want to talk about?
Well, number one, I've had jury duty from the middle of May. Yeah, started in the middle of May, and it's going to be through the middle of July. So you'd think, oh man, that's a long time. It must be a really intense case. Well, number one, it's civil, so no, it isn't. And two, I can't tell you, stop asking.
Yeah, especially on this platform. You can't reveal anything because, sure enough, it would... With the luck I have, the judge would be one of the listeners we randomly have. And he'd be like, excuse me. You have a podcast, right?
He'll punish us by taking away our Friday donuts.
Oh, no, you can't have that.
I can't have that.
You can't have that. You gotta have Friday donuts.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's part of the fuel for jurors.
And I'm not gonna lie, they're really good donuts, too.
Hey. He must know how to find a good place for donuts. I mean, he is a judge.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not an interesting case. It's just really long. Lots and lots of paperwork to go through. And it's like, ugh, kill me already.
Yeah, it's not some cool murder trial.
No.
The defendant is accused of torturing and then grinding up 18 children and serving them as burritos at a school lunch. What the fuck?
No, nothing as interesting as that. There was a little moment where the jurors had our drama fix, and it made us all very happy.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, other than that, I've watched very few things. One of the first things I've been watching is Botched.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been kind of watching in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been interesting. I think I watched it when it was first aired, and then I just forgot about it. So I was like, hey, it's on Netflix. I might as well watch it. It's really been interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting what some of these people go through. And then the ones I saw, it was people who really needed something corrected because they had a terrible surgeon the first time. And then there were the people who were addicted to it, who were out of their goddamn fucking minds, in my opinion, who were like, I need to look like I'm completely plastic, and I want muscle implants, and butt implants, and a cock implant, and like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I spent over $300 million on my body, like...
And that one guy said, well, yeah, the doctor signed a waiver. And the show doctor was like, yeah, they signed a waiver because it's illegal for them to do that. They can't do that because it's technically putting you at risk. And that's the opposite of what they were meant to do. That's the opposite of their oath.
Yeah.
That's why they had to sign a waiver.
Yeah. There's the thing called, I think people forget, the Hippocratic Oath. One of the lines is, do no harm.
Yeah.
But when you're like, I need you to do this surgery, and they're like, I legally can't without signing a waiver saying I am cleared of any charges that you may come back with.
Seriously. But then I also watched, we both watched Burn After Reading.
That was really good.
It was surprisingly good.
I had wanted to see it, but I was like, okay, because like the Coen brothers, I like some of their stuff. But it's like hit or miss. Sometimes I'm like, I didn't think this was going to be good, but...
Mm-hmm.
How hard did we laugh at Brad Pitt?
God damn, he was so funny. Fuck, he was so funny. And my favorite part is when he gets shot in the head in the closet. It's the face he makes. And you brought up a good point. He makes that face to be as unintimidating as possible. And he just winds up getting shot in the face.
He looked like, he's like, I want to be as I want to come off as harmless as possible, but you look like a psycho.
He was just smiling ear to ear. And it's like, no, shot to the head.
Yeah. And for anyone wondering, like, spoilers, this movie's from 2008.
Yeah, it's not new.
I had it spoiled for me years ago, but I forgot, which is one reason why I got to it so late. So
yeah.
Like, well, I kind of know what happens, but that scene, he just doesn't say a word, just this big, shit-eating, goofy-ass, psychotic grin.
And then, pow! Oh, we had to repeat it. Oh,
yeah, we watched it a couple of times. is the fact that you have George Clooney playing a character who's never once used his gun and accidentally discharged and then was freaking out, wondering what's happening, going back upstairs with his gun drawn, like he's like, and then checking him, like tapping his foot and
it's like, alive? Dude, you shot him in the face. He's dead.
The middle of the forehead. His brains exited the back of his head onto the closet wall. There is no chance of survival here.
No.
The movie overall was really good. The cast helps too.
I appreciated the limited humor. You know, when actually did it? I'm wondering if it labeled it a dark comedy. Yeah, black comedy. I like that. Mm-hmm. I appreciate dark comedy.
Its humor wasn't like just punch you in the face, slapstick, outright comedy.
Yeah.
It was subtle things like when everyone just kept saying fucker about everyone. I'm like, that's funny in its own way. Some people would be like, oh, they say fucker a lot. I'm like, that's funny because that's exactly what people would say when they're struggling to find the right word to call somebody. It's just, you fucker, you fucker, you fucking fucker. I mean, go ahead.
We also watched The Dirt.
A lot better than I figured it would be.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge fan of Motley Crue.
No. I mean, my best friend, that's her favorite band in the entire world.
Yeah.
It's not my thing. I'm not a metalhead. It was pretty good.
Yeah. A lot of things I didn't know.
I was tolerant of MGK.
Surprisingly, this is the only time where I'm like, he's not annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if any... I know this was based off their book, but if any of this is remotely true, Tommy Lee came from the fucking Cleaver household.
Yeah.
And if that's true, what the fuck? Like, I have supportive parents and a loving family, but I'm a metalhead. Like, you're well adjusted, but yeah, you're like, I'm gonna go do drugs and drink and be a rock and roll star.
Yeah, I love that they left Pam out of it completely. Completely.
No mention at all.
Had no problem putting Heather Locklear in there, but Pamela Anderson, you better keep her out of it.
It makes you wonder, were they like, you know what, there was enough with the sex tape, we don't need to...
Right.
We don't need to go into all that. But yeah, surprisingly, MGK, not annoying.
No. We were able to get over it pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's... You realize who it is, you're like, ugh. But then he's actually kind of charming, and you're like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I had no idea, like, about Vince Neil's daughter that died of cancer. It's like, oh, okay, fuck.
Yeah.
And just how bad some of the addiction and all that shit was. Like, ooh.
Oh, we do have a new listener. My friend Dolores.
Nice. Hello, Dolores.
Hi, Dolores.
I hope you're listening intently. That was weird.
I have a feeling she is.
I don't want to make you uncomfortable. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it.
Yeah, so I do a lot of scam catching on Facebook, like kind of a lot of it. And I've met a lot of people that way. And she's been one of the coolest people that I've met. I get her humor.
That's always good.
Yeah. And she likes podcasts. So I said, oh, well, we have one. And she said, oh, and I listened to this one and this one and this one.
Well, I don't know her taste in podcasts, but if you do like things like Twilight Zone, I'll recommend Strange Highways by our friends Paul and Terry.
I did mention that I was on an episode of theirs. Yeah.
And if you like horror movies and two guys who have really good discussions about film, check out The Devil's Ball.
Yeah,
Daniel and Samael are good.
I've been on that one too.
I won't recommend any of the others I listen to because they're wrestling podcasts, and I don't think she's a wrestling fan.
Probably
if she
not.
is, I mean,
yeah.
then, you know, shoot us a line, and I'll tell you which ones to listen to that are fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else, Leanne? Because I don't want to hog up all the time, because I can talk for hours on end. You know me.
Yeah, I married you. I'm well aware.
Yeah, we're still married almost 4 years later.
Yeah. We started dating in what, 2011?
2011.
Yeah.
October of 2011.
Mm-hmm.
I remember because I went down to where you were living in the San Diego area. And it was right around the time I needed to start doing Halloween shopping for my Halloween costume for the office I was working at the time.
So that was our date. We went to the Halloween shop.
God, I miss going to the Halloween store.
Yeah, and then we decided to eat my favorite food that I knew for a fact would give me stomach problems, and it immediately gave me stomach problems. So I spent too much time in our bathroom at the condo. too much time. But you stuck around.
I stuck around. And then you got to discover how loud I snore.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, not a good impression.
No.
The fact you stuck around, though.
I slept in Tink's bed.
I don't blame you.
I was like, I am so sorry. She's like, what is that?
Yeah. Luckily now I have a CPAP, so
Yeah.
I still have to technically get a sleep study done to make sure I need it, but we're pretty sure I fucking need it.
Absolutely.
I mean,
But then, shortly after that was New Year's, and I wound up getting a kidney stone, wound up in the emergency room. You stuck around with me for that, too.
yeah. That wasn't long after you hijacked my Facebook and made it official that we were dating.
Yeah.
And then I panicked on New Year's Eve because I was like, maybe it's your appendix. Maybe it's like, oh, don't tell me that.
No, your exact words were, which side is your appendix on? And my anxiety immediately skyrocketed.
Yeah. And now that I've dealt with even more of my own anxiety from shit, I get how nerve-wracking that is and how debilitating it can be.
Yeah.
But the good thing is...
You're on the right track.
Yeah. Yeah, everything is going in the right direction for me.
Mm-hmm.
About 95%.
Pretty close.
I'd say the 5% is my left leg being stubborn. But
Yeah.
it's something biological that we're just trying to kickstart. So,
Mm-hmm.
for those, I haven't really talked about it too much here, but 2022, as you know, I've talked a little bit about it. I went into the hospital, severe sepsis, lymphedema.
Mm-hmm.
Severe wounds
COVID.
on my legs, COVID. I was not in a good place. I was close to checking out. They weren't sure I was going to make it through the night. They were pumping me full of all sorts of antibiotics. Luckily, my body took to it well. I had no intention of checking out. But the wounds in my legs were severe. It looked like a wild animal had mauled my legs. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
I'll share that now because it's a couple years removed from it. I don't feel... It doesn't trigger my anxiety to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we fast forward to now. I had a doctor's visit this past Wednesday. And he's not super concerned about the left leg. He's just puzzled
Yeah.
as to why it's taking so long. My right leg is damn near healed.
Yep.
My right leg is where we can do the Coban wrap that I have on there with all of the wound dressing and stuff. We can change that once a week now.
As opposed to 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were changing it every 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So now the left leg is every 3 days, and my right leg
Once a week?
once a week. If
Give
it
or
starts
take.
to get, a little funky around day 5, we can change it. But a week at most is how long we can wait, and that's really good news.
Yeah, it's excellent news. Every time I do your wraps, I notice them getting a little bit smaller. And a little bit smaller.
Yeah, and you've been a tremendous help because when you first realized what was happening,
Mm-hmm.
because I'll be honest, people, I was hiding it from everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought I was hiding it. They knew something was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There was a smell because of the infection, everything. They knew something was wrong. I wasn't owning up to it. I wasn't going to the doctor, so my own fault, but at the same time, I didn't want to burden anyone else because I thought I could take care of it. Let me be the warning. Don't hesitate to go to a doctor. Don't hesitate to ask for help. Because if you need it, get the help. Don't do what I did because I almost didn't make it. The Grim Reaper was basically looking at me like, you gonna come through the door with me or what?
Yeah.
And
I remember I was staying in a different room because we all had COVID, and hearing you be sick was one of the scariest things I've ever heard in my whole life.
yeah, there was a whole ordeal. How it actually came to be that you called 911 for me to go to the hospital. We're not going to get into details,
No.
but something happened. She noticed it. I went to the hospital. Basically was told I could lose my legs. They might have to amputate. And basically they said you were stupid for not seeking professional help. And I was. So I want to tell anyone out there, if you have anything, even if it seems minor, go get it checked out.
Yeah, they even got on me and they said, "What do you mean you didn't know? What do you mean you didn't know?" And I'm like, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect and neither is he. I'm here to be supportive. What can I do? Where can I go? What do we do now? I definitely got blamed from multiple parties.
Yeah, and it wasn't your fault. It was my own choice to not tell anyone and not ask for the help I desperately needed.
Well, even one of the people that blamed me came to you and had a heart-to-heart with you, and even that didn't work. So that person wasn't as helpful as they thought they were being.
I was stubborn to the detriment of my own health.
Mm-hmm.
And not like that anymore.
No,
I'm
made...
open
Oh
about-
my god, you're amazing now. You're a freaking superhero now. You're practically bionic. It's insane. You've made such a huge turnaround. I am so proud of you. So proud.
I'm trying my damnedest.
And now you're back to losing weight again?
Yeah.
Ugh, what the fuck ever.
I've
Get
lost
over
30
it.
pounds since February.
Fuck
when I started
off.
doing this.
Yeah,
And
congrats.
for anyone out there, all I've done is just change the way I eat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm addicted to food.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm obese. Yeah, I like food.
Me too.
I like junk food.
Me too.
It gives you that serotonin, that endorphin rush, and I know it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like anyone with any sort of addiction, you chase that feeling. And I've realized when I flip the switch to do better, this is what happens. So, I guess what I'm saying is if you're out there and you're trying to lose weight, you can do it. Just find what works for you. Don't listen to anyone telling you have to do this, you have to do that. It's all about cardio, or it's all about lifting weights, or this. You need to find what works for your body.
And there will be a lot of people that are going to tell you they know the right way and they know what you should do. If you have any questions whatsoever, talk to your doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Just go to any clinic and be like, "Look, I'm concerned. What can I do?" And they'll help you.
Yeah.
Don't listen to some rando at the bus stop telling you need to do intermittent fasting. It's not for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Keto is not for a lot of people, especially certain people with physical conditions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot you got to take into consideration.
Yeah. Especially if you have any other health things, like if you're diabetic or whatever, you have to watch that, so you have to watch other things. There's a lot that goes into it. Nobody's body works the same. Just because you may have seen a guy who was like, I was 480 pounds and now I'm, 205 and I'm ripped. Whatever worked for him might not work for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And also, I would like to say for the record, a lot of people are quick to assume you have diabetes. A
Yeah.
lot of people, nurses, doctors, even my orthopedic doctor that I just recently went to,
Mhm.
they were like, "Oh, yeah, it's because of his diabetes." And I said, he doesn't have diabetes.
Nope. I've never had it.
No?
I've never had any tests that showed I was close to being diabetic.
Mm-mm.
And if they were going to find it anywhere, it would have been during my hospitalization.
Yep.
The only thing that came out of that was I was anemic for a little while.
For a little bit, and now you're not.
And that
But
was it.
you were also good with taking your vitamins and your
Iron
supplements.
my zinc, my calcium, my vitamin C, making sure I was drinking orange juice. Yeah, I was like, I want to no longer be anemic. I want to be healthier. And it was a road of getting the wounds enough in check, getting my overall health in check before I could start, okay, now I need to adjust my diet to lose weight. And now I'm doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, first step, maybe just change your portions. Even that could help.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Just the thing I did, and if anyone out there wants to take this advice, I'm not soliciting advice, but I'm just saying what I did. I got an app to track and I just started punching in what I think would have been a good set of calories for the day, how much weight I wanted to lose, and it calculated by how long, how many calories a day I should be eating. And that's just kind of what I've stuck to right now. Yeah, are there days where I go over? Of course, we're all going to have those days. But you just look at it and go, speed bump, not a big deal. I'll just compensate and make sure that I do better this next week. That's it. It's one day at a time, but that's...
You got to have the patience.
Yeah.
People think it's going to be overnight. Even when we lost the weight before, you lost 100 pounds. I lost 50. People were asking us what the secret is. What's the secret? What's the secret? There is no secret. There is no quick way. There's no shortcut. You got to do what you got to do, and that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't do a lot of exercise, but I did cut my carbs down. My carbs and my calories. And I was able to lose weight that way. Would that happen now because I'm older? Probably not. I would have to exercise, but whatever.
Yeah. Everyone's different, and as you get older, it's harder to get it off. But if you can stay committed, it takes a little more tugging and thumping to get it going. We're going to lose your friend listening to us after that. But this was supposed to be more of a state of the podcast address, but I guess I wanted to get this out there because I want to be open with you guys.
Well, it's more like a riff,
Yeah. Yeah, we're just riffing. We're just
we're
off the
riffing.
cuff here.
Yeah.
But I want to be open and honest with you guys. I've started seeing a therapist. I've only had one session, but that's something else I'm doing. So I guess that's part of it, is I feel like maybe part of me becoming better is being open with you guys, the listeners out there, kind of telling you what I've been through, where I'm at, and that, you're not alone if you have anything that you're worried about but aren't sure who to ask for help. Just a doctor, a helpline, whatever it is, just reach out to somebody.
And I've been going to the doctor too. Because through your insurance, I was able to get insurance. And for some odd reason, I've had 0 copays. Yeah. And I've seen the dentist. I've seen the orthopedist. I've seen lots of different people. And I have paid 0 copay. I've paid nothing. And even the clinic I go to, they have a frickin' food bank in the back. They encourage you to take it. All you have to do is sign your name and the date and take the food.
Yeah, the first time I went with you, they were like, "Oh, did you guys want food?" We were like,
Okay,
I guess. And it was just bags of groceries, like chicken and vegetables.
Rice,
and fruits,
oatmeal.
Oatmeal, yeah. Really healthy stuff.
Juice.
And I like that. It was really...
Yeah.
I mean, we're not to the point where we really need the help.
No.
But every little bit does help us out.
Yeah.
Especially
I wanted to see what they were offering and, what it was about. And if they were encouraging it, I think it probably helps their bottom line the more people they have on that list. Mm-hmm. So I figured, why not? I haven't done it since, but I thought it was really, really cool.
Yeah. But I was looking at if people have, elderly people they're caring for and they're going to that clinic, or they've got kids that they have to prepare meals for and they struggle to get food on the table, or it's just harder to get these fresh ingredients. This place at least has that for them. And that's really cool.
And they've been very helpful. They send me texts reminding me about appointments and my referrals going through with the phone numbers and the addresses and the name of the doctors, and they've been really good.
Yeah. You've been getting some really good help.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad.
The orthopedist is like, yeah, your feet hurt because you're fat. You're going to have a hard time being a nurse because you're so fat. She didn't say those words, but I know what that meant. I know what she's referring to when she says your weight. Mm-hmm. I know she means you're fat. Yeah, I'm like, I get it. Okay.
Like, yeah.
Touche.
It's like, do you think I was going to try nursing just like this? You're not even close yet.
No.
Although I have seen some larger nurses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not many, but they seem to get the job done just like everyone else.
Yeah.
So.
She's like, nurses have to work 12-hour shifts. Well, number one, You don't know what kind of nurse I would be and where I would be working.
Mm-hmm.
And when she asked me, what are you looking to get into? And I said, wound care. She went, oh, yeah, you know what? It turns out they need a lot of wound care nurses.
Yeah.
It turns out if you can do it, you should probably do it. And I'm the type of person that can do it.
Yeah. Especially if you consider the catastrophe we had with the beginning of when I was back home after the hospitalization.
Nightmare after nightmare after nightmare.
Home health that just flat out would ghost us.
Literally.
They came out once and told me, you're never going to heal.
Well, and there was that one nurse that showed up, said, oh, I'll be right back. And she literally never came back.
Never came back. It's like, okay, if you're home health and you're wound care, you should know there are going to be severe circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't think you can handle it, at least tell the patient something. Don't just ghost them.
And with the first nurse, I guess she was the head nurse, we were supposed to get nurse visits 3 times a week. Well, we were getting them about 1 day a week.
Yeah.
If that. And it turned out that when the first head nurse came out, she deemed him not worthy of home health nurse.
Yeah.
Because of an infection risk, which wouldn't it be the opposite? If you're an infection risk, wouldn't you need those nurse visits?
Yeah, it's a contradictory statement.
And then then they didn't even tell us that was the case. We had to guess and guess and guess and be put on hold and get our calls ignored. We had to go to the emergency room because when he first got out, they said, you need to change your dressings 3 times a day, which number 1 was incorrect. And number 2, that had us panicking when we're at day 3 and no nurses have shown up. Mm-hmm. So we have to go to the emergency room. Actually, we went to a clinic first, and they said, we don't have the supplies. You have to go to the emergency room.
We went to the same hospital that I was taken to when Leanne called 911 in August of 22.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just a week or 2 out of the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to the ER.
And the ER doctors are telling us, no, they're definitely wrong when they say 3 times a day. If it's day 5, come back.
Yeah. They put our minds at ease, but with all the pain I went through in the hospital, because they had to pack my wounds with gauze soaked in what is called Dakin solution, which is a very, very strong solution that burns because it is there to kill any infection. Anything that can cause an infection. It is killing any bad microbes there. And it burns, and the gauze stuck to my wounds. And the only way at one point where they could do the leg grafts, because they had to pull the gauze out, was to give me ketamine. And I fucking hate ketamine. I will never understand why people want to do it, because I have a couple instances now of lost time. I don't know what happened. I know what happened up to the point of it kicking in, and I know what happened at the point of it wearing off. I don't think it was a long time, but I can't tell. So, yeah, I don't get ketamine. I don't get why people want to do it. It's fucking atrocious.
We definitely don't like hospital visits.
No. I do not want to be a repeat customer at the hospital.
No.
So, but yeah, the home health situation, if you are dealing with that and they're giving you shit, seek another home health organization.
And raise hell.
Yeah.
Raise hell. Talk to the manager. Talk to the CEO. They'll keep bumping you up the ladder. Keep fucking talking to them, because that's exactly what I did. And it turned out at that hospital that was dealing with the home health, they had a new manager. And that manager was who I was getting a hold of. And they didn't know half of what was going on. And she only had so much control. Mm-hmm. So I said, look, I need to be able to, I understand your guys' situation. What I'm actually upset about was that we weren't told any of this. We weren't told that we weren't going to be getting any more nurse visits. Yeah. We weren't told that we were put from 3 a week to 1 a week to 0 a week. We were told nothing. I get that you guys don't have the staff. Say something. I understand you guys don't have the supplies. Say something. Mm-hmm. Don't just ghost people. I get that we're just a number on a list for you, but we're human beings and we deserve care. You have to sit there and if you have to become a fucking Karen, become a fucking Karen. If it's about healthcare and the health of your loved one, raise hell. Mm-hmm. I left a very detailed and upset but tactful email to one of the CEO people, and I also copy and pasted that as a Google review.
Yeah, and you even saw other reviews for that place where it was the same kind of thing. Like, we haven't heard back from anyone.
Yep.
We're at risk of having to go back into the hospital because nobody's showing up. Nobody's telling us anything.
They're like, guess what? My dad has this and this and this, and without his care, he's on his deathbed until he gets that care. We haven't heard from anyone in 3 days. Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
I got all riled up.
Luckily, the second home health provider had a kick-ass nurse come out.
Nurse Jasmine.
She made sure that Leanne knew exactly what to do, showed her how to do my reps, gave us tips on what to use, what not to use. And
one of the things she said wasn't accurate, but, she's a nurse. It's fine. She's not always going to be right.
Exactly. But puts you at ease, letting you, learn how to do it, teaching you things, showing you what to do.
Undoing the negative juju that the first nurse put upon you when she said they would never heal.
Yeah.
These will never heal. I can't believe a nurse would ever say that to a patient.
And that's what not only Nurse Jasmine said, but the nurses and Dr. Haas at the wound clinic I go to, they all said nobody should ever, even if that's the case, you don't ever tell a patient that.
Nope. You're not the doctor.
Yeah. They're like, regardless, even in this situation, you don't tell the patient what it is. You have to keep them in good spirits, especially when they were like, oh, you were only a couple of days out of the hospital. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And was told, oh, these aren't going to heal. You're going to need, skin grafts and muscle restructuring and all sorts of treatments and this and that. And, it's going to take forever. You're never going to heal.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what she said.
Bitch, look at me now.
Yep.
I would.
Yeah, I know.
I would love to just get her out here and be like, take a look. Not going to heal? Maybe your assessment was wrong. And it just makes me wonder how many other people, we saw the reviews, but how many other people were told similar things?
Mm-hmm.
Or just ghosted and then like, oh yeah, we can't help you. You're down to 0 a week. We just can't do it without any communication.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, I'm sorry. You're providing a service to me. You should be letting me know if you're not going to provide that service so I can seek help elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fucked up time, man.
Yeah. It was awful. First couple of weeks were the worst.
Yeah. 2020 through 2022 was...
And then not long after you were home, your mom died.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 2022 was a fucked up year.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, I don't think we've still even, grasped fully everything that is...
Mm-mm.
I did not mean to hit my microphone, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. But, yeah, so there's that.
Mm-hmm.
We should... Didn't mean to be downers for a bit, but... For the sake of transparency, as I said, and being open with you guys, I feel it's part of... I wasn't told by my therapist to do this, but I feel it's only right for me to finally share what I went through. And if you guys have any other questions, feel free to email the show, skewereduniversepodcast@gmail.com. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I'm not going to go into super details. I won't be sharing photos with you, but...
Which I have tons of.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone would
really
like to see the actual visceral.
No.
Because it's bad.
Yeah.
If you got a weak stomach.
No.
put it this way: if you've ever watched Shark Week and they show you what like someone looks like when a shark bites out like a chunk,
Yeah.
that's basically it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just eating away.
Yeah.
But we'll leave it at that.
I tell people it was an 8 out of 10 for extremity. Like, extreme.
Yeah.
And the only reason I don't say it was a 9 because bone wasn't visible.
Yeah. Pretty much everything else but bone was.
Yeah.
Yeah. On to more happy things, I guess. Is there anything else you've been watching or that you've watched that you want to talk about? Since we circle back to the movies and this discussion after. We wasted all our energy on that. Oh.
I think you didn't talk about much that you've been watching.
Oh, I watched a lot.
Do you want to talk about the
wrestling.
Wyatt tribute?
Oh, man. Okay, so I've been watching a lot of wrestling, and I've been keeping tabs on some WWE stuff. Now, that in by no way means that I am back on board watching them completely, but there have been certain things that I've been keeping up with. One of which, last week, almost a full week ago, there's been teases and QR codes of what is now known as the Wyatt 6 debuting on Monday Night Raw. They did so this past Monday. As a fan of Bray Wyatt, someone who appreciated all his work, his creative mind, the horror references, stuff like that, you could see the guy was just, his mind was working all the time. This was so well done. The production of it was done. It looked like you were going through a haunted house. If they pull this off correctly, it is a hell of a tribute. But there is one thing I want to say about that whole thing. There was a bunch of people, myself included, like, hey, this would be an awesome tribute to Bray, this faction coming together, using things that he created, these characters that he brought to life in the Firefly Funhouse, becoming like avatars of this cult led by his brother, who is Uncle Howdy at this point, Bo Dallas, Taylor Rotunda. And so many people were like, yeah, we want to see it. Then it happens. And all you fickle motherfuckers, I'm going to quote Brian Danielson here, you're a bunch of fickle motherfuckers. Because as soon as it happens, this is some WCW bullshit. This was stupid. Oh, at the end of the show, what the fuck? Oh, this sucks. Stop watching wrestling. If all you're going to do is shit on everything that happens after you were clamoring for, you're like, we want to see it, and you're like, this fucking sucked, stop watching wrestling. You're obviously not a fan. All you want to do is hate watch something. We all like different things in wrestling. Instead of shitting on AEW because, oh, they're just a bunch of old WWE rejects. Wrestlers would jump from promotion to promotion all the time back in the day. Between territories back in the day. This is nothing new. The only thing that's happened is social media has given all of you petulant little children a fucking voice that is louder than the rest of us who just want to have fun. If you hear this and you get pissed off at what I'm saying, good, because you're part of the fucking problem. Anyway, I loved the Wyatt 6 debut. It was amazing. It was awesome. And by the way, they didn't murder people. They didn't shoot Chad Gable in the head. If you've watched enough horror movies, you realize people can suffer head trauma and bleed without dying. They just laid out everybody in chaos. That's what it was. It was backstage. It was, we're here, and we don't care who you are. If you get in our way, we will lay you out. It wasn't, we murdered, everyone's like, oh, they got murdered. I'm like, there's no way for them to be able to carry a storyline with any wrestlers if they're murdering people in kayfabe. Because then when those wrestlers come back, it's like, well, we thought you were dead. You were supposed to be dead. It's like, come on, people. I know a lot of them are doing it for the memes, but come on. There's still a group of people out there who are gullible enough to think they murdered everyone. Come on. Really? Really? Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sounding like an asshole, but I'm fed up with people going, we want it, and then it happens. They're like, that sucked. Well, then you didn't want it. You're not a fan. You're a fickle piece of shit. But I'm excited to see where the Wyatt Six thing goes. I am. The costumes look great. I heard that it's not supposed to be supernatural, which I'm fine with, because when Bray Wyatt debuted in NXT with the Wyatt family, it was more of a cult leader thing. If they can bring that back and are just like, the followers here are just representing these characters that Bray had in his mind, and we're carrying on that, like, that's what I want to see. Them just lay waste to anybody. I don't care if you're a heel, face, you're a general manager, you're a backstage interviewer. You step wrong, you get laid out. That's what I want to see. Just chaos. That's... Anyway, yeah. That was... You saw it too. You watched it with me. What did you think?
It was good.
Okay.
The end.
Good. It was
I like that it was 6.
Yeah. 6 is an SICKS, not 6 is the number 6, which I think is a way better name than just the number 6. It's like,
but I like it because it's 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's 5. There's rumors that, maybe Alexa Bliss, and I'm like, but she was part of the supernatural thing. If they're trying to keep it grounded in reality,
I thought it was a space for Bray.
I've heard rumors that it was supposed to be like Bray is the 6th member in tribute, and I think it should be left that way.
I think it should be left that way
because Bray is your overall.
Yeah, he's the whole reason it exists.
Yeah. This now is them going, we're going to carry on. You remember Bray Wyatt. You remember the cult leader. You remember the Fiend. This is us carrying that on. That's what I want to see. You don't need a 6th member. You don't need spooky supernatural stuff. As much as I like it, this doesn't need that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. But AEW's been off the fucking rails, man. It's been fucking amazing. People hate that I love AEW. People hate AEW in general, but you know what? Like what you like, I'm going to like what I like, and I'm going to seek out like-minded individuals who just want to have fun. That's it. But I need Hangman Page to return soon. Where are you at? Anxious millennial cowboy? Gotta come back. He's probably taking time off to be with his wife and kid. I don't blame him. He had a hell of a run there for a bit, just getting his ass beat, so... Yeah, but what else have I been watching? A lot of SNL stuff on YouTube lately.
A lot of Bill Hader.
A lot of Bill Hader, because he's fucking hilarious. The tale of the chopped up dead guy. Then I went back and watched his Vincent Price, like, Christmas specials and Halloween's, but it's... If you haven't watched any of those, just go to YouTube and look them up, or if you have Peacock, they're probably there as well, because they've got all of Saturday Night Live on there. It's fun. I did go through the entire series of X-Men 97. Holy shit. Was that fantastic. I didn't get a chance to go through the original series like I planned to do before. So I've been slowly kind of working my way through it. Man, X-Men 97. Holy shit. I don't think I want to spoil anything. I don't know if you're going to watch it. But, yeah, just even the opening credits changing with everyone that shows up and comes back to the team, and it... If you're an X-Men fan, go fucking watch it. Look, some people don't want to pay for Disney Plus. I get it. I'd say if you can get a free month or trial for 30 days or a couple of weeks, binge it. Binge it. Binge it. You know you want that sweet, sweet adamantium in your ass. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry.
I've told you a million times, don't apologize for things you're not actually sorry for.
I'm really not sorry for that. I mean, if you want Wolverine to adamantium finger your butthole, I mean, I don't think it's wise, because those things can cut through anything, but hey, to each their own. One thing we never talked about we watched the Barbie movie.
Yeah, we did.
That was really good, too.
It was.
It was everything I had heard it was and more. And I like that Ken's character doesn't really matter. There's a big production, though, a big sing number with him, but it's like, you don't really matter. Mm-hmm. It's not about the men in this movie. Mm-hmm. And I love that. As a dude, I appreciate that, because we've had our fucking time. Let's take a fucking back seat. Guys and white people in general, let's just take the fucking back. Let's get on the back of the bus. Let everybody else get in the front, okay? We've had our time.
I got excited when I saw certain Barbies.
The peaches and cream Barbie.
Yeah.
And I had no idea, so I was just like, oh. And you're like, I know that Barbie. I know this one. And Michael Cera as Alan was just, he's like, I don't know what's happening. Like, yeah, I get it. Mm-hmm. It was, the casting was perfect. It was really well done. I know I highly recommend.
Yeah.
Anyone go see it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
It's got a positive message. It really does. It's a movie for everyone.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, except if you're a fragile white dude who can't take a woman being in charge or being the focus of a movie. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, that's why they choose the bear. Dick. There was that whole thing that happened while we were... Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I called a lot of guys out.
And I get it. Look, fellas, there's a reason they choose the bear. Come on. You know the reason. Even if you don't want to admit you know. Deep down, you know.
And the thing is, it was a video done originally by a guy.
Yeah.
Who already knew the answer was the bear.
That's what's so funny. And I think these are the same guys now. Real quick aside here. Have you heard of the show The Boys?
No.
That's on Amazon Prime. Okay, it's this really fucked up superhero show.
Okay.
Like, corporations owning superheroes to do their bidding kind of thing. Mm. You know, the hero isn't exactly the hero.
Okay.
So one of the main guys, Homelander, he's not a good guy. He's killed innocent people. We know from the jump watching the show, those of us who are rational thinking, yeah, this is not the guy you admire. He's not the hero. He's not, he's wearing the American flag and the stars and stripes. Like, that's a huge red flag. Immediately. Season 4 just came out. And, the boys went woke. Guess I can't watch it anymore. Because now those guys have all realized, they finally saw, he's not the hero? But wait a minute, you were telling us he was the hero. Like, really? And you call us, rational thinking folks, stupid. It's like, it's not hard to see, just read between the lines. None of these people are good people in this show. Even the ones that start out, you're like, nobody is a good person in this show. They are all different levels of fucked. And Homelander is like the top. And they were like, yeah, we should be like, no. It's kind of like those guys who would tell Mary Harron, the director of American Psycho, yeah, I really relate to Patrick Bateman. I really got his character because that's like me. And she's like, no, you're not supposed to relate to Patrick Bateman in any way at all, ever. Mm-hmm. Seek help. But yeah, they're all, these are the same ones that yell about wrestling. They're the same ones that yell about Star Wars. They're going to yell about The Boys. Moxley had a quote about CM Punk, fragile mind, fragile body. I kind of think that works to describe those guys who bitch about anything that's not a white dude being held up on some fucking pedestal. Anyway, what were we talking about before I went off on that rant? Jesus Christ.
Movies and shows we've been watching.
Yeah. I haven't gotten to season 4 of The Boys. I really want to check it out, but I have to sign into the other Amazon account. Because the one where you have stuff purchased isn't linked to anything, so I can't watch anything without signing up for a trial, and I'm not signing up for a trial when we already have the service. Anyway, Yeah. Inside Baseball, everybody. How you like that? So yeah, Barbie, that's what we were talking about, and then we got off on. It's really good.
Yeah.
I recommend if you have kids of a certain age, they should probably watch it too.
Yeah.
Because it has a good message of everyone's different, therefore everyone is valid and everyone matters.
Yeah.
Despite what everyone else will tell you. Movies for everybody. Oh, there's several more. I watched X. I think you passively watched X. That was the one where the group of adult filmmakers went and rented out that barn. Or that, like, guest house.
Oh, yeah, I watched parts of it.
Yeah, I think if you watched the whole thing, you would appreciate it more. I don't think you were in the right space.
No.
Eventually, we might cover it. I enjoyed it, but... remember Tin and Tina?
Yeah.
That was not... That was... Oh.
I got mad at that movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was totally down most of the movie, and then I'm like, whatever.
It was just...
The end pissed me off.
We thought it was going to be something so much more, and it wasn't.
It had a lot of... it had room to grow. There was a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah. I have my 1.5 star review up from Letterboxd if you want me to read it.
Sure.
It said, slow with a climax that was rather ridiculous. They laid the groundwork for something good, and it fell short of delivering anything scary or disturbing. Putting 2 kids in blonde wigs and making them albino as well as super mega religious does not a creepy kid make. I feel there was every opportunity to make a better film with some disturbing imagery, but this fell very short of that for me. Even the infant baptismal scene failed to make me feel anything.
There you go.
I mean, you're drowning a baby, and I'm just like, whatever. I should feel something.
Yeah.
I felt nothing. Like, I just didn't care. I think you watched this with me. I don't know how much you watched of it. The Clue documentary, Who Done It? Documentary on the movie Clue.
I think I watched some of it.
Yeah, it was actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
It took a while to get started. It was like an independent filmmaker guy doing it. I'm like, okay, we gotta... But once the ball got rolling and you really got into like the characters and stuff, it was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. If you're a fan of the Clue movie, check it out. I think it is on... I don't remember. It might be on Screambox if you subscribe to that. If not, you can just do a quick Google search or go to Just Watch and it'll tell you where to find it. I started rewatching some of the Hell House LLC series, so I watched Hell House LLC 2, The Abaddon Hotel.
Is that the one I hated? Found footage one?
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
Yeah, all of the entries in that series are found footage. I'm a sucker for found footage when it's done well. I think these are done well, the first 2 anyway. I'm excited to carry on.
Yeah.
I'll watch them when you're not around. You got jury duty, so I got time to kill. Then I watched something called Cries in the Night, which actually wasn't too bad. I gave it 4 stars. Finally got to see The Marvels. That was fucking amazing. Everyone who shit on that movie, fuck off. Oh, women in power. I can't deal with women being the lead focus of the movie. Oh, fuck off. There's over 100+ years of movies where white dudes were the focus of the movie. Go watch those and jerk off in your little Confederate basement somewhere. You absolute waste. God, I'm angry. Anyway, yeah, The Marvels was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm trying to keep myself on track. We talked about Burn After Reading and The Dirt. I did start playing, but I haven't continued playing the Killer Clowns game on PC. I need to play more. I played some BioShock Infinite on my Switch, which is really fun because I bought the whole thing for PS3 and then I never really played it.
You played that ocean game.
Yeah, you have a game on your Switch, Endless Ocean.
Yeah.
Which is very relaxing.
Not when I first started playing it. It stressed me the fuck out.
The deeper you dove, the deeper you're like, oh, it's getting darker. What is that? What is this? What is that? You were frightening yourself.
It's scary.
Giant sharks, giant whales coming out of nowhere. Weird looking fish, ugly ass fish.
In the dark. And then, of course, you start playing it and you just start going right down the dark spot. And I'm like, aren't you scared? And you're like, no, it's fun.
Yeah, the difference is I'm not really doing it.
Yeah, but
If you
neither
told
am
me
I.
I'd have to do that, I would not do it. No, I know that. I'm just saying, like, I can separate it where you're like, no.
Well, now that I understand the bounds of the map and how the maps are laid out, and now that I've discovered most of the fish, I get it. I'm fine. I dive right into the deep part now.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember a while back when I was playing GTA 5 and I got the sub. It was just diving down into the depths. And it was getting darker and darker. You're like, no, stop. No, I'm not watching.
So uncomfortable.
I took it down to the absolute deepest you could go when it just decompresses and you die.
Ugh.
So it was basically like I was doing my own Titan submersible years before they even did it.
Creepy.
Yeah, you just didn't like as it got darker and darker. You couldn't see anything. You could see the light shining on a black screen.
Oh,
And
it's
that
so
was it.
gross. Ugh.
Yeah, what else? Been enjoying doing Tales from the Podcast with JB.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, Ron is no longer a part of that show, but we're continuing on. And it's been a lot of fun doing Are You Afraid of the Dark, because I never watched it. Did you ever watch any of that?
No.
Was there anything you watched back in the day that anyone, like any of those horror shows that might have been for kids, like Goosebumps or Eerie, Indiana, or anything like that?
No. It was just
Neither.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of that either.
I haven't
By
watched
the time
any.
those hit, I was watching the R-rated stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, what's the point of going backwards? Now I'm like, man, I really wish I would have watched it, because there's
Yeah,
some good stuff there.
Me and you were reading books like It, while other kids were watching Goosebumps.
Yeah. My love of reading was immense. So I was reading it in like 6th grade.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
And people were like, why are you reading such a big book? I'm like, because it's fucking dope.
So good.
And then, of course, I would get too into my own head and my own fantasy of reading it, where I'd be like, I gotta put this down because I'm freaking myself out.
Mm-hmm.
But how many times? I've probably read the book 3 times and listened to the audiobook like 3 or 4 times. So, yeah, I really enjoy it. Just I was kind of let down with it, chapter 2. I really like the first one. Aside from them making Mike nothing. And then Mike wasn't really a factor in the second one, except, I figured out this leather trash can that we can use. And it's like, Mike was such a bigger character in the book. There needed to be more.
I agree.
If they ever go back to doing it again, it needs to be a mini-series. You need to do the Derry interludes. You need to show the points where Mike was going and interviewing different people. You need to be able to go more in depth as to both the original miniseries from 1990 and both the newer films did not dive into Henry Bowers that much at all. It was basically, he's a bully from a broken home. It's like, no, there's a lot more. There's a lot more. And it's really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to touch on the sewer part with the kids. That we can excise every time. Even Stephen King is like, yeah, you don't need to talk about that part. Everything else deserves its own time, but yeah, we were reading it, and other kids were like, I want to read The Cat in the Hat. It's like, you're in 6th grade, dude. What the fuck?
Stop.
It's like, I want easy reading. I literally knew kids who were doing that. They stayed in like the 3rd grade level books. I'm like, they were just underachievers at that point. That, or maybe they just couldn't read well. I don't know. It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I should never assume what somebody's education level is, even if they're in the same grade as I am.
Mm-hmm.
Where was I going with that?
I don't know.
God damn it. There was something. We were talking about Endless Ocean.
You were
and
talking
then...
about Tales, and then you asked me
Oh,
if I had
yeah.
watched any of the
That's right. Thank you.
kid horror shows. No.
Yeah, and then we were already into more adult fare at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, circling back, thank you, because I go off the rails. See, when I go off the rails on with JB on Tales, usually I'm the one to bring us back. But this time I'm just like, my brain is all over the place.
It's because you haven't recorded in so long.
I have so much to tell everybody.
You do.
I have so much to say. Yeah, Tales has been fun. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. TalesInThePodcast.com. Go check out the YouTube. Go to Facebook. You can find them. If you're a Twitch person, we're on there as well. I say you can find them. It's us. It's me and JB. It's my second show.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have a hard time kind of reconciling that in my head.
Yeah.
Because I see it as JB's show. Like, Skewered Universe is ours. But it's like my baby. It's what I've curated over these years. So I feel like that's the same. JB has possession of Tales, but I am a co-host. So I do need to get in the habit of saying it's our show. It's been a lot of fun. We've had Sally Beast, who does streaming on Twitch on there. She's been a lot of fun to have on for these Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes. We're going to have more guests coming on soon. Repeat guests that we've had on before. New people coming on that I've reached out to. So yeah, that has been a lot of fun. Speaking of that, I upgraded my webcam recently. Because my old one was taking a shit. So for anyone that knows, it was an old Logitech 720p webcam. So even though the StreamYard that we use outputs at 720p, I didn't look like I was clear at all. And I just realized because I got this new webcam, which is capable of up to 4K. But even at 720p, it's a lot more clear since I have a new camera. You can actually see the white in my beard, which I noticed last night on Tales, and I pointed it out live. I was like, oh, you can see the white in my beard. This stripe down the middle of my chin. Which is perfect. And I got a green screen.
Yes, you
that
did.
attaches to my chair.
Mm-hmm.
I got toys. So, all in the sake of content creation for the podcast and stuff. So, for use on Tales, for use for TikTok, for use for YouTube videos, all tying back to Skewered Universe and Tales in the Podcast. Basically, these toys are for creation or for when I just feel like having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's everything we've been doing. I don't think there's been anything else.
I don't think so.
Our dog is back on track.
Yeah.
Mostly. She's getting turkey and rice twice a day now.
Mm-hmm.
We just decided to keep her on that diet.
Yeah, she likes it so much.
Oh my gosh, she wolfs it down. And I have no problem cooking the turkey. I found the easiest way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone out there, if you are instructed to feed your dog a bland riot, Jesus Christ.
I think those are two different words.
Yeah. If your vet tells you to give your dog, and I'm assuming this is possibly okay for cats too, but I know for dogs for certain, if they're having stomach issues, they might prescribe a bland diet of boiled chicken and rice. Or boiled turkey and rice. We have gone the turkey route. She is allergic to chicken. Side note, if your dog's allergic to chicken, they are not allergic to turkey. You can feed them turkey with no reaction. Good to know.
Wow.
Yeah, found that out. Yeah, we've been feeding her that, and I found an easy way to do it. If you get plain, unseasoned, lean ground turkey, throw it in the oven. Boiling it takes 25 to 30 minutes, takes the same time in the oven, but you get nice little brown crispy bits in there. And she likes that more than the boiled, I'll tell you that. She wolfs it down even faster. So yeah, just a little trick. Put it on a baking sheet, or in a baking dish if you've got like a 6x9 casserole dish or a couple of them. Do it in that because it'll hold the rendered fat a little easier. But yeah, just a little tip for you. 30 minutes in the oven, guaranteed to be done. Stir it halfway through. And that's what you can feed your dog. And I finally cooked rice perfectly. Twice in a row.
Well, for the listeners, what they don't know is you've been using a rice cooker.
Yeah, because it's easy and foolproof.
But it's packed away.
Yeah.
So you've had to learn how to cook actual rice.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. Everyone talks about, like Asian households tell you just need water. You put your finger on top of the rice and just fill water up to that first line on your finger. It's true. It is true. That's how I've done it twice now, and it has worked. Oh, hallelujah. The gates of heaven opened, and I am the rice god now. I don't know what any of that means. Rice god? Sounds like some racist shit that I'm saying. But it's not. I'm just happy I cooked rice twice. It was good.
Was it nice? After you cooked the rice twice?
It was very nice. I might cook it thrice. And
what if it's not nice thrice?
I don't know. Ask Bryce.
Who the fuck is Bryce?
I don't know, man. Anyway, I'm working on stuff for Skewered Universe, guys. We just wanted to have this little episode just to kind of talk, riff for a bit, off the cuff. We haven't been doing Skewered Universe for God, well, almost over a month now. I don't even remember when the Baby Reindeer episode was the last one we did. Which, actually, you guys seem to really like that episode, so we might do more series in the future. We might break them up into, like, 2-part episodes, just so we're not having to do one long one. But, yeah, you guys seem to really enjoy the series. We didn't get any feedback, but I looked at the numbers. You guys were downloading it. But, yeah, I'm working on some fun stuff. Gonna get some more guests on, some more theme months. Like I said, I'm not sure when we'll pick up production, but I will keep you guys posted. I know I'm bad on social media about giving you guys updates, so I'm going to try and get better about that. If you want to support us, you can head over to patreon.com. Look for Skewered Universe Podcast. You can get hold of Transmissions episodes. They're still there. They're still waiting for you to get them. It's low cost to join us and support the show. You can also find the podcast on Apple Podcast, YouTube Music, Spotify, Amazon, pretty much anywhere where podcasts are, we're there. You can email us at skewereduniversepodcast@gmail.com. I'm losing steam here at the end.
Yeah, that's because we started off too strong. We started off too strong, too energetic, and
I'm trying to remember everything. Find us on Facebook. There's the group page and all of that. Just search for Skewered Universe Podcast. Instagram.
Google
Threads,
us, YouTube us,
and now TikTok.
TikTok us.
TikTok, yeah. Find us on TikTok. Comment, like and subscribe. Yes. God, I don't know, but wherever you get your podcast and you get this show, rate us and review us. Nothing less than 5 stars because we're brilliant. That's what I hear everybody else say, and I'm like, I can't say it seriously. Rate us how you feel, man. If you don't like the show, review it, and I'll read it on the air, and then I'll make fun of you for not liking the show because you're obviously I don't know. No. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. If you don't like us, that's perfectly fine. We have other people who enjoy this. And as you know, every Saturday I do Tales from the Podcast with JB. We are currently going through Season 2 of Are You Afraid of the Dark, the Nickelodeon show that came from Canada. So it is a show about maple syrup and Canadian tuxedos. And a little bit of horror. And there's also the video game, Tales from the Podcast, the fucking video game. I will put a link to the trailer in the notes, but go check out the trailer, then buy the game via PayPal. talesfromthepodcast13@gmail.com. Send us $10. We'll send you the game. If you need the cheat bot, it's an extra $5, so $15 in total. Get you the game, and it gets you access to the cheat bot. Also, it doesn't require Steam. It doesn't require an internet connection. Once you get the file, you just open it up and play. It is not multiplayer. It is a single-player game. But, it's retro style. That's how we all used to play back in the day. Yeah, man. Anything else?
No. I mean, no, thank you. I'm good. I love you. Bye.
All right, with that, find us all over. We love you. We appreciate you. If you've listened to this and stuck around to the end, we really appreciate that. And we'll talk to you guys soon. But until then, keep enjoying that universe that's just a bit
Scary.